Do you get?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay. jQuery is a library. It's just like a backbone. You get, just like a backbone for JavaScript, which is used to simplify the HTML DOM. For example, let me just speak on as a beginner. On button click, once you visit a site, you get, and you are submitting a form. Mr. Fakorede, are you listening?
Yes. I can hear you.
Okay. You know, jQuery as a library, not a framework. It enables you to use your DOM elements in HTML and CSS, in the sense that once you click a button, it does something. It answers a function. Do you get? For
Yes,
example,
yes.
so when you click your button to submit a CMA, okay, it does this. Or maybe on a website which has a scroll function, a slider, is the work of jQuery. You get? So jQuery is a library, not a framework. You get?
All right.
So, but
Yeah.
when you talk about frameworks, then you can mention React. You can mention React. You can mention Vue. You can mention Angular. You can mention Node. You can mention Next. You can mention Meteor. You get? Should I
Yes,
should
yes.
I list it for us, or we are taking notes?
Well, I am taking note of this mentioned
Okay, we are
frameworks.
taking notes. Who else is taking notes as well? Is anyone else taking notes? Okay, please take notes. Please take notes. For JavaScript, we have frameworks like React. We have React Native. There is difference between React and React Native. React is used for building web pages and website actions, while React Native is used for building cross-platform apps, which works on Android and iOS. Then we have Angular. Angular is used for building single-page applications. Then we have Vue. Vue is built for building front-end websites and web apps. Then we have Node.js. Node.js is used for building server-side programs, like what powers our websites, what powers our web apps, what powers our applications. That's what the backend services. So now let's talk about the front end. As we all know, the front end is what you see. For example, you viewing this meeting, you can see the number of people in the meeting. You can read the comments in the meeting, and you have um a function to quit the meeting, to mute yourself, to enable video calls, and to present. So those are the front end elements that we are looking at. Then there is something that powers this front end. That is the back end. Do we understand?
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Latif, do you understand? Hello, Mr. Latif, do you understand?
Okay.
Can't hear us. Mr. Jeremiah, do you understand, sir? Hello, Mr. Jeremiah. Okay, he said he's at work. Okay, Mr. Emperor,
I,
Mondragon, can
I
you,
understand. Yes,
you
I hear
understand?
you. I'm hearing you. Yes.
Okay, hope you would carry us to Camelot very soon.
No, 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 no.
Okay, that is awesome. Mrs. Perpetual, welcome, ma. Miss Perpetual, Miss Angela, can you hear us?
Yes, I
Mrs.
can hear
Chiamaka
you. I can
can
hear
hear you.
you. I'm with you.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much. So let's proceed. So, as we all know, front end is what we see, front end is what we react with on button clicks, on form fields, and on anything. Although the time won't permit us, I would have said we should run some codes, but we would run some codes today. So please kindly bear with me. But do we understand what front end and back end is?
Well, according to your explanation, I've
Yes,
read it a bit.
you understand.
Yes,
Miss
yes.
Chamaka, do you understand what a front end and a back end is?
You are asking if
Hello?
I understand what's a front end and a back end what?
Yes. Do you
Yeah, I understand
understand?
the front end and back end in web dev. I don't know if it's what you're asking.
Okay, it is what I am asking actually. So now we would build a simple server to illustrate what we've talked about so far. Please study my screen.
Okay,
Please watch
sorry,
my
sorry,
screen.
sorry. Before you
Okay.
move,
All
quickly,
right.
quickly, in a nutshell, can you just quickly give us the difference between back end and front end? You realize it's like they didn't get that very well. What?
Okay.
Okay, just give us the difference and what we can cite an example of.
Okay. Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. So this is what front end is.
And what?
Front end is the
Mm,
page you are looking at. Let me show you my screen.
yeah, it's a class.
Okay. Let's visit this website rmprograms.com. Okay. Can we all see this website?
Okay.
Hello. Can we all see this website?
Please help us to see your screen.
I can zoom my screen. Okay.
Yeah. Like this.
Ah, the screen is mirroring itself.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Very clear.
Yes, yes,
Okay. It's
yes, you
clear
can
now.
see.
Okay. So this is an example of a front end. You can see this. You can see the scrolling of these products. Hello. Can you see? Hello.
Yes, we are with you. We are with you. You can go ahead.
Okay. So this is the front end. This scrolling and this over is done with JavaScript. That is JavaScript for front end. You can use JavaScript for both your front end and the back end. And you can also say JavaScript for client side and server side. The client side is your front end, while the server side is your back end. Please, do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we understand. Okay, can we proceed?
You
Sure,
may
Yes,
proceed,
sir,
sir.
we
sure,
can
sure.
proceed.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the front end that you are looking at. You can see, you can you can okay, let's add a product to our cart. Let's add a product to our cart now. You can see the price for this perfume is um is 7,000 naira. Okay, let's add this perfume to our cart. You can see it's adding to our cart already. That's why it's loading, it's adding to our cart. So you can see this product has been added to our cart. Can we all see this?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. This product has been added to our cart. So now we can view our cart and we can check out. To view our cart, we will see the product we added to our cart. Well, if we would check out, it will take us to where we would pay. Now let's click on checkout. So now, can you see this checkout page?
Yes, we can.
You can see it. So
Yes, sir.
this is where you enter your first name, last name, everything you get. So this is your front end. This is what the front end does. It creates your user interface for you, while the back end is what powers the actions, the entire actions of a website. The back end powers everything. It is the logic behind it. It is the logic behind payment. It is the logic behind registration. It is the logic behind your sign up and sign in. So that's the power of the back end. Please, do we understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So do we have any questions? Do we have any questions?
From my own hand, there is no question, sir.
Okay, no question. Okay, should we proceed? Okay. If so, so what we would do now is that we would create a simple HTML form. You get? Then we would create a simple web server to house the HTML form. Do we understand?
Yes, sir, I
Hello?
understand.
Please, sir, I
understand?
can't see your screen very well.
Okay, yeah. I will zoom my screen to you now.
We
Okay.
can't see your screen very
Now,
well.
okay, I will zoom it for you now. Okay, can you see my screen now?
See your screen.
Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I'll create a folder now. I'll create a folder. Then I'll create the folder. Then we'll open the folder. New folder. So let's name this folder Nacos folder. So we'll select the Nacos folder. Okay, so this is our folder here. Can we all see our folder?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we will create an HTML file, and we would also create a JavaScript file. We would use the HTML for our front end, while we use JavaScript for our back end. HTML is used for front end as well, but HTML is used to style pages. Style pages create layout. Do you understand? Well, JavaScript is used to add functionalities. You get? So now let's create an HTML file now. Let's say index.html. Then the next file we'll be creating is to create another file that will be main.js. That is main.js. So This .html, it's called a naming a naming convention. You get, it's a naming convention whereby you use for your files to name your files so that your editor would understand what you are writing. Understand? You can see when we added .html, the editor understood we are writing an HTML code. While this main.js, when we added the naming convention to be .js, the editor understood it was the JavaScript file we are writing. So now let's quickly write an HTML file now, an HTML form. What we are creating is a form. Form name would be Nacos from Nacos from. Then we'll put a center widget. Center. Have a center widget here. That is, this center widget would allow our forms to be in the center instead of being at the left side or right side. It will be at the center. So now let's quickly create an input type to be text. Okay, I mean input should be text. So our input is text. Okay, the name of our text here called okay, firstly let's create a form first since we're having the form. Let's create a form first since we're having a form. We have our form here. Okay, so inside our form we would have input type. The input can be text, it can be anything, it can be password. Are we all following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, are we following? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So we have our form here already. You guess we have our form already. Then we have an input text inside. You get, so our input is text. There's an error with this text tab input. Sorry, input should be text. Yes. Then we have our inputs, another input. Let's copy this first text.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, no problem. Alright.
A H ID to be H in H, and let's paste another one to be okay, we already have three. We have age and gender. Then this should be gender. Then we would have a button. Button submit. So let me explain. Hello, can we all hear me? Are we following?
Yes.
Okay, so let me explain this piece of code.
Okay.
The title of our form is what? Nacos form. And we use this tag center to put our forms inside the center, right? And now what we did is that we entered an input type here. The input would be your name, your age, and your gender. Okay. So now let me quickly create a backend to host this page. This is just a front end here. So what I'll do now is that I'll create a backend, I'll create a server to host this front end that we just created. So let me show you how JavaScript backends works. Are you following?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Just some seconds. Yeah, we're almost done. Extended. Oh, okay, we are almost done. Response send file. And so now we want to join our file to our backend. Join. Index HTML. So now we will tell our server to listen on a port, that is a default URL. So you will say app.listen to port 3000. So now we have created our backend here to host this form. Now what we will do now is to go to our browser. Hello, are we all on our browser? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, we are on the browser. So we told the server to listen on port 3000. So we will visit localhost 3000. Okay, we are yet to run our server. Let's go and run our server. We are yet to run our server. Let's run our server. Run node. So now our server is running. Now let's revisit our local host.
Èyí ló pọ̀ jù bí ayé.
Local host 3000. Okay, you can see there is just a dummy form here and a button.
Ìṣòro parí wa.
Can we all see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now let's make this form better by updating
Àní kò
the
sáyé.
user interface, adding more functionalities. Let's say placeholder,
Èmi cháyì báwo.
enter username,
Èmi yọ tẹ́lẹ̀.
enter
Chájà rẹ̀ nìyẹn náà.
name.
Àwùjọ èwo ló.
Okay. Placeholder again.
Yá fíyè.
Ta.
Ìyá ń bí ṣe wọ́n.
Page. Then place user again. Gender. Gender. And let's use let's wrap this to in center. Okay, let's give this a break. Give this two break. Two breaks. Break. Okay, so this code editor is called VS Code. It's easy for you. That is awesome. Who else? Who else? Mr. Adoyi, can you tell us what we just did? Mr. Okwe Adoyi, can you tell us what we just did?
Smaro.
Mr. Okwe, I'm looking at you and you are looking at me too. Can you tell us what we just did? Maybe it's not on board. Okay, so basically what we did is that, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, what we just did is that we created a back end and a front end. You get, so we created a simple HTML here that is for our front end. Then we created a JavaScript file on our back end. This is our back end here, while this is our front end here. So we told this back end to connect our HTML file to the web. So if anyone should visit this URL, that is localhost 3000, then this file should be rendered. This file should be sent to the viewers. So after we ran our code, this is what we got. Things work properly from scratch. So we would send a post request to our form. Send a post request to our form. This is our form. Then we said method method is what, post request, while the action is impute. So now we go to our back end to say app dot First, yes. So input, mm, input then function request, response, request and response, then curly braces, then we'll say console dot log um request dot body dot name, yes. Okay, then we'll copy this again. Sorry, it wanted to do, let's see, so it will be so we have how many inputs? We have name, age, and gender. We have name, age, and what it does. Name, we have age, and gender. So our file has been updated. Now let's try to impute some forms. Okay. Now let's go back to our local host. So yeah, it is. Can we all see this?
Yes, yes, sir.
Hello? Yes,
Yes.
we can see enter username, enter age, and enter your gender. Then you do what? You submit. So this is what we will do. We will enter the username as whose name should we use? Whose name should we
Let's
use?
use
We use
let's use
Chiamaka. Okay, okay. Let's use Chiamaka. Chiamaka, we have very sorry. Okay, let's say her name should be Chiamaka 100. Then age is 700. Then gender is female. Then what else? Submit. So you can see our page is still loading. Now let's go to our back end. Hello, can we all see this?
Yes, sir.
So can we see
Yes.
that? So you can see that what we sent on the front end is still working. What we sent from the front end is working. So it sent the form input to the back end. You get. So now let's go to our browser. Oh, our browser is still loading. We didn't finish the back end side. So we would say response dot send form input submitted successfully. Now let's restart our server and let's restart. You can see it's done already. Okay. Now we have local laws 3,000. So who should we use for this class? Whose name should we use?
Let's use Mr. Akwe's name.
Mr. Kingsley.
Mr. Okwe name.
No, we are using Mr. Pakorede Ezekiel. Mr. Pakorede, what is your username? Mr. Pakorede, what is your
Let's go with the
username?
fun name. Fakore, it is okay.
Pakorede, okay. Pakorede, 1 to 3. Mr. Pakorede's age is 5,000
I'm from the one. So no no.
and his gender is what?
Oh,
Male.
let's put our ta. Oh, to clean me.
Am I right? Now, what do we do
Ní
next? Do
power
what?
bá ṣe ló ní kó wá plug ẹ̀.
Submit.
Bá ṣe ló ní ká
So
plug
you
àwọn
can
ọmọ.
see it sent us a response saying form input submitted what successfully. So now let's go to our server. You can see Pakorede username to be 123, then age to be 500, and the gender to be male. So let's clap for ourselves. Let's clap for ourselves. Clap for ourselves. All right. So now, who doesn't understand what he just did?
So I think I want to ask a little question. Maybe it's not even little from my own end.
Okay.
You said we use
I'm confused.
HTML. We use
Okay.
HTML to do a table. Like I think you mentioned styling. Why did you not use CSS? Like can HTML do all of what is needed in the front end, all the styling, the colors and all? Like I don't know, can HTML
Yes.
do all of those stuff? I
I
thought CSS was
I I understand what you said. Get. When you talk about front end, you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You get. With HTML, you can only create structures like web pages, web layout. You can't add functions or styling with HTML alone, but you can use CSS or Bootstrap to add your styling. Do you understand?
yes I do.
Then you use JavaScript for your actions, maybe button clicks or maybe for your back end services. The back end would be the one to collect those forms inputs from the front end as we have just practicalized. So, do you understand?
Yeah, I think I do.
Hello?
You think you said you
Hello,
think you do.
my
Yes, I
on
do
it.
also understand to some extent.
Okay. You know what?
To some
You know what,
extent.
Kingsley? This is what you do. For us to get you better. I think
Okay.
they might not get. We are not expecting you guys to get everything. Sure, you get. The only thing we're going to be doing is that,
Yes, sure.
especially for female, once we're out of this session, it will be easier for you guys to come and learn something. The fact is, once anything he did here, it shouldn't look like a magic to you guys. Okay, the fact is we don't have much time and he has to quickly explain some things. But don't worry, for those that are female, there will be a session for that. By next week, you should have a
Sure.
female scientist. That will be on WhatsApp because of female, we want them to participate very well. So anything you see here, don't let it look like a magic. Just try to listen, even if it is one you gain. We are not expecting you to quickly write everything up at once, but at least so that you have the knowledge of what he's talking about. So that's
So, Thank you, Mr. President, for the short description. So the idea here, it's not for you to understand the coding or the anything, but the idea here is for you to understand how the web architecture works. That is the front end and the back end. You get. So with JavaScript, you can now you now understand that you can build your front end and back end with pure JavaScript. You get. So with JavaScript, everything is simple for you. You can build your client side, you can build your server side, just step by step. So who has any other questions? Please ask questions or don't
Yes.
feel shy or hide your questions.
Please, my question is there any application that you use? Because I am just new to this thing. I don't know anything about it. The, the, the JavaScript. Is there use to get into?
Okay, so this is what you do. As a programmer, there are things called IDEs or code editors. Are you listening, sir?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, there are things you call IDEs and there are things you call code editors. They are both the same. The function of these code editors is for you to write your codes and run them. You get. Without your code editor, there is no how you would write your codes or see the output of your codes. The code editor I use or commonly used by most programmers is called VS Code. VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a software which enables you to write codes, run your codes, debug and test codes. So that is what code editors are, and that is the softwares we use, sir. Do you understand, sir?
All right. Well, please, which devices can you work? Is it only on laptop or desktop
It
or
can only
phone?
work. Yeah, it can only work on desktops, sir. Desktops or laptops. But for mobile devices like Android, iOS, there are code
Okay.
editors you can use on Play Store. Do you understand, sir?
All right.
If you want to code on your
Yes.
phone, there are code editors on Play Store or on Apple Store that you can that you can that you can use. You get. Just type in code editor on your Play Store on Apple Store. It will bring you tons of code editor that you can use to write your codes or run your codes.
All right. So
Yes.
the does it uh, sorry the browser how can your appear in the browser?
Sorry. Can you repeat your question? The network is breaking somehow.
When you must have coded, when you must have programmed your codes in the code editor using the code editor, how do you launch it
Okay.
in the sorry browser like Chrome, like Firefox? How do you use it? How do you launch it?
Yeah. If you remember when we were writing our codes, yeah,
Like,
we told our server to listen on a particular port. When you want to visit Facebook, you can simply type
yeah,
facebook.com. Do you understand, sir?
yes, yes,
So I told this server to listen on a local host. That is a local URL. That is was 3,000. So the server started running. So I had to visit um my website using the local host I assigned to it. So that is why on your screen here you can see local
Yeah.
host 3,000 running. Do you understand, sir?
Okay.
Okay. And if we would see the title, you can see it's titled Nacos form. Can we see?
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it's titled Nacos form. So to run your codes, you can run your codes on your editors, or if it is browser defined, you can run your codes as well on your browser. Do you get it, sir?
All right. I got you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, sir.
Right.
Any other questions? Bosses in the house.
Yes, I have a
Hello. Any
question, sir.
other question? All right. Ask your question, sir.
Uh, Concerning this JavaScript for server-side stuff, I've been hearing about
Okay.
Node.js for a while, but I have not got the time to go through how
Okay.
to run Node.js stuff. So I want to know whether you have a
Garota,
course.
kaga usia waso wasigaze.
Can
Sorry,
you hear me,
please.
sir?
Can you? I barely hear you. Can repeat your question.
Okay, my question is, do you have a course,
Please,
whether
if you are
a
not
pre-recorded
saying
videos
anything, if
or
anybody is not saying
PDF file?
anything, it is recommended you guys mute your device. You are distracting us, please. You just mute your
Hello,
device.
please. Someone should mute his or
If we mute it
device.
from here, you guys might not be able to mute it from your
Please
side.
mute your devices. All right, Mr. Fakorede, you can repeat your question, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to ask whether you have a course concerning Node.js apps, be it a PDF file or a series of pre-recorded videos.
Okay. Although there are series of Node.js videos on YouTube, and there are series of PDF files um online as well. But if you would want to learn Node.js, you should be you should know JavaScript first, because Node.js is pure JavaScript. It's something you can't jump into without knowing at least
JavaScript.
JavaScript,
Mm,
because it's pure JavaScript. You get. So, but
yes.
after the after the meeting, you can send me a DM on WhatsApp, so I can send you the some of the simple resources as well. But I suggest, I think the Narcos officials would surely have an hackathon concerning JavaScript. More hackathons. We've been having JavaScript hackathons in the past. I think 2 3 years ago, but we will still continue so that we'll be able to beat what we are aiming for. So please, you should stay updated on all the news and the posts that would be online, so that you won't miss your chance. But don't forget to message me as well, sir.
Okay, sir. Your phone number